Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Special shout out to members of the Proper Pronunciation Association globally or internationally. Those who love to come online and correct individuals like myself for making errors while reporting the news. Welcome all to another newscast that most likely will have some amount of improper pronunciation. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, TTPS clarifies joint intelligence operation involving Special Branch and Central Division officers. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service advises that the incident currently circulating on social media involving officers of the Special Branch and the Central Division occurred during a joint intelligence-driven operation. Based on intelligence received, two operational arms of the TTPS corresponded simultaneously, which was consistent with the urgency and sensitivity of the information available at the time. The TTPS wishes to assure the national community that public safety was never compromised. All officers involved remain on duty, and joint state of emergency operations continue nationwide in accordance with established command and control procedures. The TTPS remains committed to maintaining professionalism, safeguarding the public, and ensuring the integrity of all intelligence-led operations. The service also strongly urges members of the media and the public to verify information with the official TTPS channels before publishing or sharing reports, particularly during a state of emergency, when misinformation can cause unnecessary panic and compromise ongoing operations. I ain't falling for that, people. I'm sorry, but my response was, so says the most deceptive law enforcement agency in the Caribbean region. Sadly, the UNC refuses to ensure that the TTPS undergoes significant reform. The COP, the Commissioner of Police, also appears to be more of a talker than anything else. Honestly speaking, I like certain initiatives he has taken. I like certain stance that he has taken as well. But I do not trust him either, especially when it pertains to the reforming of the TTPS. This right here is why the Kamala Prasad administration needs to focus on reforming the TTPS and mandating that officers wear body cams at all times. If Roger Alexander doesn't believe that body cams aren't necessary, or if he doesn't believe that it is necessary to ensure that there's video footage to verify or debunk accounts given by members of the TTPS, then he needs to be replaced. As a matter of fact, I do believe that he should be replaced, put him in some junior position. He's not suitable for the role of Minister of Homeland Security. The so-called social media source, which if I'm not mistaken, is Ian Allen, is usually far more accurate and credible than the Syrian media Akash crew. So most likely this version of the incident that is being reported by the TTPS is incorrect. And bear in mind, people, there was another news source, actual mainstream media news source, that said that the two different police departments, or whatever you want to call it, they did not know that they were both going to end up at that site at the same time. There was lack of communication, according to another news source. So what is the TTPS saying? That news source was incorrect in their information as well? But for some reason, they are just targeting Ian Allen. Ladies, meet your new go-to bag, our mega duffel handbag, perfect for your travel, shopping, the gym, and everything in between. Crafted from premium Oxford material, it's not just stylish, it's built to last. The ideal size, flawless design, and unbeatable quality make it the bag you'll reach for every time. Versatile and ready for anything. WhatsApp 762-6589 to order yours today. While acknowledging a shortage of nurses in TNT, Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo says the administration remains committed to opening the Couva Children's Hospital, adding a plan is in place, which will be unveiled in the upcoming weeks. Bodo was responding to questions on if the facility is ready to take in new patients, following commitments from Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat that the hospital is expected to receive its first group of young patients in the coming weeks. Even if there's, well, I'm not saying if, there's definitely a lack of nurses in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't think there's a lack of individuals that have been trained for that field of work, and therefore hire more nurses. And if there's need to invite individuals from abroad to come and work in our country as well, then do so. But that should not be an excuse for keeping the Children's Hospital closed. My dear Nursing Association, who's sounding quite a lot like the PNM at this point in time. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. While the Public Services Association is pushing for the reinstatement of 26 employees whose contracts were not renewed, the chairman of the Housing Development Corporation is defending the move, saying the workers were surplus to requirements, and besides that, it was contract work, people. Sources understand that although the workers' contracts had expired, many had been informally assured that they would be renewed, and that is part of it that I find a little concerning. If you knew you were not going to rehire them or extend their contract or renew their contract, you should have told them that up front. Some employees, but then again, we don't know whether that is true or not. Some employees whose contracts ended as far back as July 2025 continued working and receiving full pay with no written indication that their contracts would be renewed. Honestly speaking, I don't think that the Kamala Persad administration is handling these issues properly. And for some reason or the other, I don't know, our Prime Minister, we the People's Prime Minister, needs to wake up and realize that a lot of ministers are not conducting themselves in an appropriate manner. Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 90 panoramic sound. Long battery life and fast charging. Control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. One minister that is doing quite well thus far is a senior member of the United National Congress. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal has fired back at the former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, accusing him of generating propaganda and creating mischief as a strategy to announce his re-entry into the political arena. I don't believe Rowley has ever left in the first place. Munilal claimed Rowley is positioning himself as a counter to a very weak opposition, Penelope Beckles. He's 100% correct about that. Munilal is 100% correct about that. Munilal also made it clear that there has never been any discussion regarding the sale of Paria Fuel Trading or its assets. The PNM continues to twist the words of our Prime Minister and members of her administration. We have always spoken about reopening the refinery. He's 100% correct about that as well, and therefore that matter does not arise, he said in a series of WhatsApp messages on November the 18th.
Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days.
Moving on now to regional news, and we're starting off with Jamaica. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness yesterday disclosed that based on projections, it could take up to 6 months to achieve full electricity restoration to all affected communities following Hurricane Melissa. Thousands of Jamaicans, particularly those in parishes severely impacted by the Category 5 storm, such as Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James, remain in the dark even more than 3 weeks after the passage of Melissa. To me, this is quite disappointing. I mean, Jamaica's a small island, and although I think I reported this same report on my other news channel, I do hope that it doesn't take that long at all to restore something that is really important for individuals, to try to restore some type of normalcy into their life, especially how we are getting assistance. You're getting assistance from Trinidad via TNTech, and I'm sure other countries are going to assist as well. Please don't tell people that they have to wait whole 6 months in order to receive restoration of electricity in their district.
You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589.
Now for some news from Guyana. The European Union's election mission, EUEOM, to Guyana's 2025 general and regional elections has drawn criticism for what President Dr. Irfan Ali has described as a noticeable absence of substantive analysis as he defended the People's Progressive Party Civic's focus on its achievements during the recent campaign leading to the September 1st polls, and he's 100% justified in his concerns. Dr. Ali, during a live broadcast on Wednesday, said highlighting the government's achievements was nothing usual for an incumbency seeking re-election. We do it here in Trinidad and Tobago all the time, and argued that the EUEOM overlooked essential context in their assessment. While the report acknowledged polls were peaceful and well run, which is the most important thing, Chief Observer Robert Bedron stated that the country's elections took place under deep political polarization from political parties, with the mission observing what it described as an uneven playing field and undue advantage by incumbency. But once again, but that takes place in all countries. Mainstream media all usually focus on the incumbent party that they love and support. In the case of like with UNC here in Trinidad and Tobago, will never get the mainstream media to focus on them, even though they are the incumbents at this point in time. But like in Guyana, there's a certain amount of the mainstream media might support Irfan Ali administration, especially, of course, the state-owned media. President Ali questioned the credibility of the mission's findings, suggesting that the composition and methodology of the mission's observations may have influenced the report's tone and conclusion. He argued that observer groups such as the EU must be held to higher standards when selecting in-country personnel. That's the thing about it. Most likely they hired people that were in favor of the opposition, claiming that several individuals involved in the process had no association with figures who openly hold partisan positions. You see, once again, You can't really trust these international bodies because a lot of the times they tend to lean on, of course, the far left, radical, socialist, autocratic side, and the parties which hold those types of values. Moving on now to international news. A father and mother have been convicted of murdering their two children, ages 12 and 13, who were stabbed and decapitated inside their Lancaster home nearly 5 years ago, prosecutors announced Tuesday. Prosecutors said the parents forced their two younger sons, aged 8 and 9, to view their siblings' bodies and remain confined in their bedrooms without food for several days. Those are not human beings, those are monsters. The parents face a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole, plus a consecutive sentence of 6 years and 4 months in state prison, the news released. They should be sent into eternity. Don't keep them in the prison system. Israel's foreign minister Seah reveals the Palestinian Authority has nearly doubled the salaries to terrorists and their families in the past year. In 2024, it paid 470 million shekels, about $144 million. In 2025, it has already committed to paying 700 million shekels, about $214 million in salaries, and the year is not even over yet. That, people, shows and proves that you cannot trust the Palestinian Authority, the PA for short, to govern the Gazan territory. And they will never actually reform. They will never actually change. They will never stop having the desire to erase Israel off the face of the earth. This is not just Hamas. Palestinians in general, they actually teach in their schools concepts and history that is false, number one, and also concepts and ideologies they instill into the minds of their little children, their little babies. The ideology that say that Israel is little Satan and America is big Satan, and that Israel must be erased off the face of the earth. That's why most Palestinians despise Israel. So people, these are not individuals that you could ever trust to have a state of their own. The two-state solution should never be accepted. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's Prime Minister, of course, along with Defense Minister, Foreign Minister, Chief of Staff, and the head of the Shin Bet, visited the village of Hada in southern Syria yesterday morning. Of course, Arab media, and I'm sure most of the radical far-left mainstream media were totally outraged over the Prime Minister's visit to Syria. How dare he enter that region, even though he's not welcomed probably by the leaders. You know, the same leader, the same so-called leader that has been reformed, that President Trump is now making friends with, that same leader. I don't know. I'm telling you, I know that even Amr Sapati says that it's all about the art of the deal, but in my opinion, you do not compromise with terrorists. You do not compromise with evil individuals. Even certain deals that President Trump is making with Saudi Arabia right now is ridiculous. Now, yes, Saudi Arabia is more moderate, but you still cannot be compromising with these individuals who want a two-state solution. President Trump. Iranian nuclear scientists and experts made a secret visit to Russia last year. And according to the US, it is an effort to obtain sensitive technologies with potential for application in nuclear weapons. In spite of that, President Trump continues to try to use diplomacy to ensure that the Ayatollah, the radical Ayatollah that wants to destroy America, would submit to the demands of the international bodies. That ain't gonna ever happen, people. But as Amr Sapati rightfully says, though, Iran is going to take part in the Ezekiel 38 war, and therefore, most likely, the citizens of Iran, the Iranians, may never be delivered from the evil grip of the Ayatollah. Closing off with the interesting facts segment. The coldest place on earth is not as silent as it seems. Beneath Antarctica's vast ice sheets lies a world shaped by fire. Wow. When researchers mapped the continent using radar surveys, satellite data, and ice-penetrating measurements, they found something no one expected. A chain of volcanoes stretching across the land beneath the ice. 138 in total, many of them towering peaks that remain buried under thousands of feet of frozen weight. That sounds so amazing. Most of these volcanoes have never erupted in recorded history, yet the presence explains the strange rivers of warm water, the unexpected melting patterns, and the shifting ice flows that scientists have observed for years. Heat rising from the hidden system weakens parts of the ice sheet from below, slowly reshaping the continent in ways that satellites are only now beginning to capture. God's mysterious creation, people. It continues to amaze mankind and these scientists. I wonder if this has anything to do with what they consider to be global warming, though. Anyhow, that's it for the Interesting Facts segment. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.